Hey, welcome to the Locker Room, my very first edition of the Locker Room. We did these, some time ago for everybody who was in the midst of the I'm In campaign. We suspended it. We weren't sure what we were going to do with people who were part of the Locker Room. And now we know, and that's why you're here, you're invited. This is for people, self-declared tithers. Give 10% of your gross income to the church you're part of and see that as a biblical thing to do. We know this is not all of us. There's a lot of people at Crossroads who are thinking like, wait a minute, well, I'm in. You may, but we don't know. That's why he said you have to sign up for it. We don't have people we know who are. I'm sure my friends do, but if they haven't signed up, then they can't get in on this. So if you know somebody who hears about this, like, hey, I was involved, just ask them, hey, are you tithing? Yes, I am. Okay, great. Have them sign up because we want to get this to as many people as possible. And I know this isn't everybody, but this is our first one. Nonetheless, here we are, Locker Room. You can see I'm in the locker room of the staff offices that are in Oakley. This is our national offices. By national, I mean the staff member who serves everybody at Crossroads around the nation. So all the bread and butter brick and mortar sites in Kentucky and Ohio, all of the groups that meet around the country. Here we have people housed who do video and audio, all that stuff. And as you can see, there are not a lot of people around here. So I'm going to put the camera over there. Actually, we'll take a little walk. See, no one over there. And same thing way over here. Not anyone way over here. That's right. That's right. We've got people who are doing some stuff at home today. We do have some people in. I might take a little spin around the office for you to see them right now. But as you can see, this pandemic, this crisis is hitting all of us and adjusting all of our workflows. And actually, I'm finding it pretty invigorating. I am finding it pretty invigorating. I just recorded a podcast episode for The Aggressive Life this morning at my house in my bathrobe on my iPhone. Never done that before. Where I tried to make and it's going to run Tuesday. I'm not sure when's this coming out, this Locker Room? Today. It's coming out today. So I'm recording on Monday. It's coming out today, Monday. So it's going to be coming out tomorrow. And I made a point like, this is the way human life has always been. There's always been things that could take us out. There have always been threats. There have always been curveballs to our existence, where it's Black Plague, bubonic plague, smallpox, World War I, World War II, Great Depression, being under the threat of a Viking coming and slitting your throat. There's always been things like that. In fact, I read this on the podcast, and I'll read it right now for you in case you're not going to go to the podcast. This is a quote from C.S. Lewis, who fought in World War I. He was a teacher at Oxford, and after World War II, in the midst of all the hysteria about the atomic bomb, here's how he said we as believers should live. He says this: in one way, we think a great deal too much about the atomic bomb, insert the coronavirus, insert quarantine. In one way, we think a great too much deal of the atomic bomb / coronavirus. How are we to live in an atomic age? I'm tempted to reply, why, as you would have lived in the 16th century when the plague visited London almost every year, or as you would have lived in the Viking age when raiders from Scandinavia might land and cut your throat any night, or indeed as you already are living in an age of cancer, an age of syphilis, an age of paralysis, an age of air raids, an age of railway accidents, an age of motor accidents. In other words, do not let us begin by exaggerating the novelty of our situation. Believe me, dear sir or madam, you and all whom you love were already sentenced to death before the atomic bomb was invented, and quite a high percentage of us were going to die in unpleasant ways. We had indeed one very great advantage over our ancestors: anesthetics. But we have that still. It is perfectly ridiculous to go about whimpering and drawing long faces because the scientists have added one more chance of painful and premature death to a world which already bristled with such chances, and in which death itself was not to chance at all, but a certainty. This is the first point to be made, and the first action to be taken is to pull ourselves together. If we are at all going to be destroyed by an atomic bomb or a virus or a shutdown, let that bomb, when it comes, find us doing sensible and human things. Praying, working, teaching, reading, listening to music, bathing the children, playing tennis, chatting to our friends over a pint and a game of darts, not huddled together like frightened sheep and thinking about bombs. They may break our bodies, a microbe can do that, but they need not dominate our minds. Hey, we need to be enjoying our life, living our life, and by enjoying our life, I don't mean necessarily water skiing. I'm talking about taking advantage of the things God gives us. Let's take a little walk. I don't want to stay here too much. We might find somebody in here who's here yet. In my quiet time this morning on the app, the Crossroads app, it says in there, the verse we looked at, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Send the Lord of the harvest in. Ask the Lord of the harvest to send workers. Let me tell you what, there's a harvest right now, friends. People are being rocked. People are seeing their little illusion of a safe life where nothing can go wrong and I can control everything with my savings and with an Excel spreadsheet and I'm in control of everything. That little life is being obliterated and torn down, and there are people who are becoming spiritually thirsty, becoming spiritually hungry. There's people who have needs. We need to hit those needs. I sent an email to everybody in my neighborhood today saying, hey, I've got enough. If you need anything else, I can cover you. If you need any help, the Tome family is here to help you. We have strong backs, multiple cars, and we've got some food and supplies. If you need anything, let us know. I want to be a worker of the harvest. Well, someone comes back to me and they say, hey, I don't need anything right now, but I'm going in for ovarian cancer surgery. I ask that you would pray for me. I came back and said, I'll pray for you. If you want me to come over and pray for you, I'll come over and pray for you. And they've gotten back and said, hey, we're okay in things right now, but if things get hairy, we'll let you know. I said, great, awesome. We want to be engaged. We're looking for that. Us as a church right now, we're spending, all these people are not here. A lot of these people are not right here, but they're working hard. We're tracking down ways to serve all of our communities. We're trying to figure out where we can deploy volunteers. We're trying to figure out how to take care of students who are at home. We're trying to figure out how to take care of medical workers. We're going to be getting really, really tired because they're doing endless hours. Your staff, our church, is getting ready, and we're getting ready deployed. And on top of that, we're uniquely positioned for this. Oh, I see somebody came into work today. Who are you and why did you come into work? Did you not know there's a quarantine today?
Yeah, I'm only here because I have to be, because I have to direct you on some.
All right, don't 6 feet, please, 6 feet. What are we doing today?
We're filming some stuff for Real Encounters so that we have a plan for when lockdown or whatever happens. We're also filming some worship and some blocks that we know, even though in the moment stuff might change, what we need to speak to people about, there's some consistent things we can say about worship and how we relate to God. So we're getting on that.
So we're getting ready. Your church, our church, is uniquely positioned to meet needs and to rally around you right now. We've invested in a significant digital infrastructure that's helping you and helping a lot of others. We're going to be able to connect one another digitally, get each other together, to find each other. We're uniquely positioned right now to be a blessing to the kingdom of God and a blessing to you, and it's because of people like you giving and you tithing. Let's come downstairs and just see if we see anybody else down here. Because I always like seeing what jobs would cause somebody to come into a place to work. And I think I saw our little financial people over here, which I think you'd probably be curious about financial people because you're a financial person. So cool stuff. So let's see what we have here. I know I saw some fun people in here. Who was in here? I knew we had some financial people here. What are you doing here? We're on the locker room right now. Payroll. So we still got money to pay people?
We do, yes.
Yes, we do. How are you feeling? You guys feeling stressed? You feeling hopeful? You feeling on edge? How are you feeling?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah?
Right? Yeah. I mean, I try not to get too scared, but obviously it's a thing, so just try to have a good balance.
Yeah, great. Holly, how about you?
Processing all the giving that's coming in. People are still doing that, which is appreciated, and we're excited to be doing that on time. I don't think that I'm nervous or scared. I think I'm glad that our leadership is taking into consideration what's going on in the world around us and making good choices. So I'm just going to trust you guys to do what's best for our staff.
She's just sucking up.
Did I read
Good answer. Good answer. I like that. Good answer. So yeah, we're trying to make the best decisions we can. And I am very hopeful. People say, Brian, how are you doing? I am very hopeful. I'm doing great. I wish this wasn't happening, to be clear, but I feel like we're prepared for this. And I feel like this is when the church can be the church. Psalm 91 is a great psalm I've been reflecting on, and you might want to look at that as well. Psalm 91. I believe that as we get into times of crisis, that's when the church becomes stronger. That's when the church can become the church. It's one thing to run good services. It's an entirely different thing to run after people. And so I feel like we're running after people right now. We're still trying to run good services. We have a digital infrastructure for that. I feel like we are just perfectly poised to help people with the Real Encounter series this week. Some people say, well, don't you know I'm going to talk about the coronavirus this week? We are. We're going to have some worship. We're going to have probably 5 to 10 minutes of talking about how our community is responding, what you need to know. But the best thing we can do is get all of us to Jesus. That's the best thing. The best thing we can do is have a clarifying picture of who Jesus is and what His power is in our life. That's for those who know Christ, and that's for those of us who do not know Christ. That is the best thing. We get through a crisis like this, not by having coronavirus logistics down pat. We get through a crisis like this by having Jesus having our heart down pat. And that's what we're working to. It's a time to purify our faith. It's a time to purify our perspective. So I think that's about it for the locker room. Rob, is there anything else you wanted to hear from the locker room? All right, here we go, folks. It's the first one. We're going to try to do this every month. It's just going to be real like this. I'm going to try to give you the real stuff. We're doing fine. We're doing fine financially. We're doing fine spiritually. We're doing fine emotionally. We're doing fine physically. We'll see how long all that lasts. But this is why we say here at staff, what kind of day is today? It's a great day to die. Jesus said, pick up your cross and follow me daily. What He meant was, don't hold your life with a tight grasp. Get ready to let it go. When you live that way, there's unending joy and peace. So that's where I am. I'm also excited because I've got my family around. Everyone's kind of picked the Tome household to hunker down. So we got people going to be sleeping all over the Tome household. I have to unthaw the deer meat if we can't get to Kroger or Walmart or whatever. And I'm actually looking for a different change of pace in my life. So that's where I am. And your God is still on the throne, and He's using your church mightily. And thank you for being a person that He is using to meet the needs of His people. Okay, we'll see you next time on The Locker Room.